What do you take bookings for? What are you using it for?
We use it for our discovery calls for the sales team. So when
Mhm.
people arrive on our website, they click talk to us. That's a You Can Book Me embedded calendar right into our site. We use it for all the check-in calls that the CS teams, our client success team, do with clients. We use it in the interview rooms in the Philippines. So we have 4 different interview rooms running. All sorts. I mean, any calls that happen with anyone external coming internal, we use You Can Book Me for that.
I am here with Barbara Turley from the Virtual Hub, who has kindly agreed to be on our customer showcase. Thanks very much and welcome, Barbara.
Thanks so much for having me. It's very, very, very exciting to be here.
So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Sure. So I'm the founder and CEO of a company called the Virtual Hub. We just ticked over 10 years old, and I know we've got our 10-year anniversary coming up with You Can Book Me as well as a client. But the Virtual Hub, we do offshore support staff solutions for companies all around the world,
So the
wherever people are.
question, the question I ask everybody is, what is the problem that you've fallen in love with?
The problem actually is this concept that the current resourcing that most companies have is being chewed up. The time commitment to do certain processes that are daily, weekly, monthly, more admin focused things, very support, I call them support layer type things.
Hmm.
And they exist in like every company, every department, and every role has these types of things that need to be done, but not necessarily by the person who's currently doing them. But usually it doesn't warrant hiring another person to do them. So that you get into this kind of difficult situation of what are you going to do with this stuff and how are you going to optimize your people? But sometimes the problem is much bigger than that. It's actually the business's ability to think strategically about the work that needs to be done, the tasks that need to be done, and
Hmm.
then how is that delegation process going to happen?
So is that
If you
what
get that bit
motivates
right,
you?
the things that interest me are what are the things that raise the asset value of companies, for example. I mean, I spent years doing this, like looking at this. And one of the things I noticed is that we've optimized for everything else possible in the world, digital transformation, and not every company's there, but we're optimizing a lot. And yet we still haven't optimized the time and energy of our key people. And when you optimize better for that, and you have great systems, processes, and teams, running like machines, not saying people are machines, but you get my point. Like businesses running like machines, you actually raise the asset value of the business that you have quite dramatically. So I think the things that drive me are, a few things. Yes, I'm really interested in that, but I'm also interested in the impact that doing these things has on your people.
So let's go back 10 years. How did you start off? Because you said that you started off with just extending your own VA to maybe having another
Yeah.
person. How quickly did you scale? How quickly did you realize that you had a business that needed that level of organizational strategy as well as the actual business that you were running? How quickly did you have to throw in all these systems?
It exploded very quickly and then went horribly wrong. I'll be
Mm,
honest with you, went absolutely horribly wrong. And I'll tell you why. I realized that all these things that I am talking about, even today, I didn't realize I was naturally good at it. You know, when the thing you think you're good at, like you think everyone else knows the same stuff. And I realized that I was really good at systems, processes, and ops. Basically, I'm really good at the ops thing. Um, and I realized that most of the clients we had taken on possibly weren't that great, or they had different interpretations of it. And in addition, then I noticed that all the VAs that we were bringing on, I was doing the old recruiting, which is basically, having people send their resume, then you interview them and you're like, yeah, this looks great. And then, of course, anyone can say anything on a resume, right? So I really had to fundamentally change. The business almost collapsed after a year. And it was really me saying, I can't do this anymore because the complaints were enormous that were coming
mm.
through from both sides. But from that, the ashes of that, I kind of decided, right, I'm either going to shut this or I'm going to take every nugget of what people have said, complaints on both sides, and think about how do I reverse engineer all of that to make sure that those problems don't happen again. And that's what I ended up doing.
So, because
Yeah.
my question would be, what would you do differently if you started again in that first year?
I think, pivoted faster, maybe not allowed it to get me so down. Like I found it very difficult in those first few years, but
Mm.
that's everyone could say that really.
Mhm.
Uh,
What keeps you up at night now? What are the problems that you're solving now? You've gone from zero
yeah.
to 300 people in 10 years. It's amazing.
Yeah, listen, if you'd asked me a year ago, I would have said AI, of course. I had a total meltdown about that because I thought, well, that's it, we're dead, right?
Hmm.
But Today I can see that's not the case. I mean, actually, it's more of an augmentation to what it is that we do. I mean, yes, you do lose some business because of AI, but it's probably low value business anyway. The things that keep me up at night. Yeah, look, because we're in a people business, I just find sometimes I wish we had a SaaS business because, a SaaS product, you can control the product to a certain extent, right?
Hmm.
But our product is people. And like
Mm,
people walk and talk and change their minds. And you
mm,
can't, yeah, that's the bit that frustrates me and freaks me out the most is that you're trying to get, I mean, how many marriages break down over communication? And we're trying to pair two people or two groups of people together and trying to get success for them in the middle.
mm,
And that's extraordinarily difficult. There's so many
mm.
things that come out of left field that, yeah, that's the bit that keeps me awake.
How do you grow? What drives growth in your company?
Well, I think, in the early days, I don't think there was an unmet demand. I think the demand was met, but there was a lot, I mean, there's still a lot of trust issues. Today, though, the industry has exploded even more. And now there's like probably 6 or 7 times, maybe 10x the numbers of companies like ours as there was 10 years ago. Trust is back. Trust is an issue. AI is a problem. You can't run ads anymore. Ads are very tricky to get this right. I think again, you need to be more of a more consultative and inside groups that are talking about this.
Hmm.
And you need to have somebody like you have to be the thought leader. And
Hmm.
people on your team need to be thought leaders as well. So
So it's brand. You're actually building a
brand,
brand,
yeah,
brand
yeah,
trust, brand recognition.
yeah.
What is the best piece of business advice that you could give someone?
Systemize, systemize, systemize constantly. Yeah. Continuous systemization. Now, when I say systemization, it's not just process mapping, it's writing things down, it's being clear, and constantly delegating.
You're in a people business. You have people who are providing the service, and then you've
Yes.
got people who are running the business. I'm just interested in how are you hiring for the people who are helping you run the business as opposed to deliver the business?
Oh, that's a great question. We predominantly have recruited from within. We have had a lot of success growing our own people in general. So
Hmm.
even our assistants that work on client accounts, a lot of them will come with absolutely no experience, but we know what we're looking for and we can hone them and they've become great assistants after we've trained them.
We're just 1 month short of your 10-year anniversary using You
Yeah.
Can Book Me. So, for which we're very privileged and grateful. And thank you very much, Barbara, for putting your trust in us for all that time. Tell me what led you to finding You Can Book Me? Why did you use us? Why have you stuck with us? Have you had, temptations to switch and that's okay? And, tell me a little bit about it.
Quite frankly, I just find it super easy to use, even to this day. Like I had to go in and change something the other day because somebody was out, the guy who runs it for us. It was just super easy. I went in, click, it's very easy to edit things and add the notification emails and all this sort of thing. So ease of use, fit for purpose, can run so many different calendars. We run about seven of them now, 7 or 8 different calendars on there, and all connected in. They even link to through Zapier now to Asana and drop things in so our team knows what's happening. And it's very cool.
And so, what do you do? What do you take bookings for? What are you using it for?
We use it for our discovery calls for the sales team. So when
Mhm.
people arrive on our website, they click talk to us. That's a You Can Book Me embedded calendar right into our site. We use it for all the check-in calls that the CS teams, our client success team, do with clients. We use it in the interview rooms in the Philippines. So we have 4 different interview rooms running, which we use that for all sorts. I mean, any calls that happen with anyone external coming internal, we use You Can Book Me for that.
What would be the most important features? Is it the Zapier integration with your external systems, or what are the other things that really matter, like your booking form or
The Zapier thing is huge for us. That was always big because we connected to all sorts of different things, and it's now like embedded quite deeply in a lot of our systems. Actually, our no-shows dropped a lot when we signed up to the SMS thing and
Mhm.
getting our reminders right and stuff like that. It's works great for us.
We're
We're
going to
quite
do the
good.
last section is would you
So
rather, which is quickfire. So would you rather throw out your phone or your laptop?
my laptop, my role can be done from my phone a lot, to be honest. So my phone, I can go anywhere with it and do lots from my phone.
Would you rather get a new customer or double your sales to an existing customer?
Double the sales to an existing customer. You're more
Yeah, I think
embedded
so.
in their success and
Would you rather speak at a huge conference or get a new customer?
get a new customer.
Would you rather work with a team of expert or passionate learners?
It depends. That's a tricky one. I don't know what you would answer to that. I've had more success with passionate learners than experts. So I think my answer is passionate learners. I think they see things differently.
Would you rather be known for product quality or customer service?
I think product quality has to come first
Hmm.
because then the product can stand up on its own.
Okay, well, that's the end of all my questions. I've really appreciated this, Barbara. Thank you so much.
Thank you.